Gabriel Krafft, the main character from Vanguard Zombies, and now he's made his way into Black Ops 6 Zombies, and especially with the upcoming DLC map Citadelle des Morts. But of course this isn't the first time we've seen him in BO6 because we originally saw him in the ending to Terminus. And even back then, I'd questioned one thing over and over about this character, and what that is how is he even still alive? And what's even crazier than that is that I've made this exact same video like 2 weeks ago, but ended up scrapping it because of something I couldn't confirm, which in hindsight I'm starting to regret because it really wasn't that big of a deal. But of course now I've been reinvigorated to make this video because of things that we saw from what Treyarch has said and also what they've shown us now with the intro to Citadelle des Morts. And this video is definitely going to be an exciting one, and I don't think you guys are going to expect where we're going to be going with this one. So you might as well get out of the way with it right away, drop a like and subscribe, and let's get into this. So as I said, Gabriel Krafft was a main character for Vanguard Zombies, and Vanguard actually took place at the end of World War II. And the date for this exactly, well, we're actually given one in the ending cutscene to Terminus, where we see a picture of Gabriel Krafft. And luckily for us, this picture has a little date at the bottom right, and that's February 5th, 1944. Now right away we can look at the year for that, 1944, and now keep in mind, Citadelle des Morts is going to be taking place in 1991, and if we do some quick maths, that's 47 years later. But unfortunately for us, we never actually got the age for Gabriel Krafft. I mean, we could look at him and assume his age, but what if he's just a really old looking 40-year-old or 50-year-old? And if that's the case, I mean, it's not too crazy that he's still alive in 1991. But if we're being honest with ourselves, I mean, he looks 70, maybe 60 years old, right? And if that is correct, that would mean he's over 100 years old. And to be honest, not that many people live to that age. So it's already surprising that he would even be alive, period, at that age. And what makes it even crazier, if we actually look at the intro cutscene to Citadelle des Morts, we can actually see that they've been torturing and beating this guy.
Your services are required. The professor needs another beating.
Yet he is somehow still alive. And not to hate on old people, but I don't know how many 100-plus-year-old people could survive being tortured and beaten at that age. But again, maybe he's just not that old, and like I said, he was just a really old looking 40-year-old or something like that. But luckily for us, that is no longer even valid, because Treyarch has now put out there in both a tweet and the description from the video of this intro cutscene has said the exact same question that we've been asking. And that's where they say, a man who should not be alive. And this is most definitely talking about Gabriel Krafft, because he really shouldn't be alive in 1991 anymore, yet he somehow is. And that's what we need to explore, because if it's true that he's found some way to survive longer than he should, we have to find some sort of explanation for why. And you may think throughout all of the zombie story, like there might be some examples of people finding ways to live longer or something like that, but really there's not. If you look through even the Ether story, the Dark Ether story, there's never an example of someone extending their lifespan with 115 Ethereum or anything like that, with one huge exception. Because there's another storyline that has now become canon to the Dark Ether story, and that's the Chaos story. Because there is a single example of someone extending their lifespan, and that is actually the leader of the Order. Because the thing is with this is that we've actually seen the leader of the Order in 1912. We know he's alive at that date. But what's crazy is that he was born nearly 2,000 years before that, because we actually saw him also in the map 9. And for the people who don't know, 9 takes place when the Roman Empire was still around and actually had control over Egypt. That's where it takes place. Egypt controlled by the Roman Empire. So the question then lies, how did the leader of the Order find a way to survive for 2,000 years? Well, there's actually an explanation for this, and it's actually tied directly into why we're even searching out Gabriel Krafft. Because think about it, why are we looking for Gabriel Krafft? Because he's the only one who has the knowledge of the Sentinel artifact. artifact. And that's the exact same way that the leader of the Order was able to extend his lifespan. Because in the Chaos story, what we actually see back in the ancient Roman times, he actually had some gladiators and forced them to complete the Sentinel artifact trial. And when you complete a Sentinel artifact trial, you are given some prima materia and knowledge of prima materia. And what he used that for was in order to extend his own lifespan. And that's how he survived all the way until 1912. And if this is the only other example of us seeing someone extend their lifespan, it would make sense that Gabriel Krafft may have done the exact same thing. I mean, it only makes sense. Like, the whole reason we're looking for him is because of the Sentinel artifact, the only thing that we know can extend someone's lifespan. And this might be the way that Gabriel Krafft has extended his lifespan and is still alive in 1991. But that doesn't explain it all, because you have to keep in mind, you can't just get a Sentinel artifact and now you have prima materia and you could extend your lifespan. It doesn't work like that, because what Sentinel artifacts really are is they're trials. They are made by the Nine, an ancient group that locked off all prima materia from everyone else, and they created the Sentinel artifacts to do trials, and if you are found worthy doing that trial, then you would get that knowledge and that prima materia. So when did Gabriel Krafft ever do a Sentinel artifact trial? Well, obviously it could have just happened anytime between 1944 and 1991, because we don't know what he's been up to at that time. He could have found his own Sentinel artifact, did a trial himself, and now he's used that prima material that he's earned through completing that trial to extend his life. But there's also another possibility, because something that has been theorized for a while now is that on Shinonuma Reborn, we were actually doing a Sentinel artifact trial, because there's something that was called the mirror that people speculated looks very similar to a Sentinel artifact. And if that is the case, and at that time what we really did was a Sentinel artifact trial, that would mean we would have access to that prima materia and the knowledge of it. Now, of course, initially we think like, well, obviously it would be us as the playable characters. Gabriel Krafft wasn't there to do it. But you have to keep in mind, we were operators, faceless people. So of course these random faceless people aren't going to get it, and the Dark Ether entities are in the Dark Ether, so they can't really do it. So logically the only person available to even accept the rewards from this trial would be Gabriel Krafft. And if that's the case, this could be when and where Gabriel Krafft obtained the power to extend his life, and would give complete new meaning to what we did on Shinonuma Reborn. But regardless of how he actually did it, it seems like this seems to be the most likely case scenario. If he did find a way to extend his life, it was probably through a Sentinel artifact. But until we get more answers, this is where we are at. And honestly, I just can't wait to get my hands on Citadelle des Morts and really figure out what's going on with Gabriel Krafft. Regardless though, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. And if you guys did enjoy the video, I appreciate if you guys dropped a like, subscribe, bell, share, any of that great stuff. And obviously comment any theories and ideas down in the comment section below. Regardless though, that's it for me. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.